Hey, what's going on? Scott Taylor with SandDiegoRealEstateHunter.com. In this video, I offer suggestions on what might be a great idea for those that are invested in the stock market right now, are tired of doing this, going with the ups and downs, or seeing horrible returns, and want to take advantage of the incredibly low mortgage interest rate, some of the lowest that I've seen in 20 years of doing mortgage loans, and you can check some of the lowest ever documented on record. Before I go on, I want to lay out the scenario so you know where I'm coming from. I had a client that I've been speaking with for a long period of time. They have a great job. They have a good income. They're putting some money in stocks today, or what some people like to say, playing the market. They have some things in their 401k, and they're frustrated. They wanted a second opinion. So I should probably say I'm not licensed to do what? Drive pizzas, a donut maker, a physician, a CPA, a financial planner. I'm giving you some adult-to-adult advice from seeing hundreds and hundreds of loan applications, understanding strategies that potentially work for people, whether they're buying something for $500,000 or $5 million, and potentially want to see some of the benefits that instead of doing something, they do something else. Okay. So as I mentioned, they were playing the stock market and always seem to choose the wrong stock, right? Is that you? Does that make sense where it's kind of going up and it's kind of going down, it's kind of going up? And at the end of the day, you look at your statement, whether it's what every month, every few months, every year, and you're like, it's really not going up. It's really going down. With all my fees, I seem to be losing money, right? They've invested in their company's 401k plan. What's the problem with anybody that knows anything about most 401k plans? Are they made out so you have the option of choosing some of the best companies? Of course not. Right? Of course not. You ever look at those and you see your returns, right? You hear the stock market's up 20, 30, 40, 50%. Michael Bloomberg was worth $3 billion. Now he's worth $70 billion 10 years later. And you're like, well, clearly I've been working for that long, so whatever I had invested have to be worth that. No, and I see these statements. People are like, dude, look at my statement. It's literally going up. Nothing, okay? This person that I'm speaking with in general broad terms had credit card debt over $30,000, and their interest rate on their credit card debt was 27.99%. Okay. They currently rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home for about $3,500 per month. And they basically said, here you go, bro. Help me out. What are some suggestions? What are some ideas? Here's what I'm doing. I think I could be doing something different. You understand mortgage loans. You help people buy. You help people do loans. Is there anything potentially that you might suggest? Yeah. There might be some things I might suggest. Number one, you should get your statements and look at your statements and see, hey, am I happy with the returns that I'm getting? If I am, great, potentially double down, right? If you like the returns, let your winners ride and set your losers short, great. If you don't, there's other options there. From there, I said, hey, if you're paying 28% on your credit card debt and your returns are only 2%, you're negative, right? 26% there. Makes no sense. If you simply are allowed to cash out of your things, and again, I'm not offering tax advice, and you understand what that loss might be a little bit if you sold and you simply paid off your credit card debt of 28%, your returns are already at 28%. If you were paying 28% and now you're paying 0, your return on your money was 28%, right? I mean, that's pretty common sense, okay? Then they said, hey, we're renting at $3,500 a month. We like our place, okay? You know, we have this issue or that issue. We deal with the landlord. They don't fix this. They don't fix that. Just seems like $3,500 a month after tax money. We have to make like $4,500 to $5,000 a month minimum gross to have after-tax money of $3,500 to simply afford our rent. It just seems like we're throwing it away. And I said, hey, simple rule of thumb that I always use for everybody that wants to speak in general terms. It costs you about $700 per $100,000 in financing. So if you're paying $3,500 a month, Net, even, that's about a $500,000 purchase, not including any tax write-offs that you might get for buying the home itself. And they're like, this makes sense. Then I said, hey, as a matter of fact, if you did this with your stocks or suggested to do this with your stocks, wiped out all of your credit card debt that you have at $600 or $700 a month and wipe that out for your total bills, simply doing that and getting a better return for your total bills, wiping out your credit cards, you can devote a little bit more of your income if you want to your total debt, which means you can devote more of that to paying your mortgage payment. Right? That makes sense. So if you go from $3,500, wipe out $600 in credit card debt and be at $4,100, they're still coming out the same. They have no credit card debt and they don't feel like they're in quicksand. Okay. So if you can relate to this in some way, whether you're in the stock market and don't like it, whether you're in, the 401k, it's not doing any returns and you want to kind of see, hey, if I got out of this or took a loan against that to potentially pay off debt, and or to use for a down payment for a home, what potentially, Scott, might be the steps that I even look at it. Here's step number one. Get your latest statements that you might have for each company, right? Whether stocks, 401k, etc. Just get the latest statements. Number two, call them up and say, hey, I'm looking at potentially taking out money. What are the fees? What are the penalties, etc., right? From there, then you might want to ask, right, if it's against a 401k or retirement account or something, you could take money out, right? But there might be a little bit of fees and you might be taking a loan against that, right? I can strongly assume your rate won't be 28%, like things that I see might be 6% or 8%. That's a lot better. You might then want to take that to pay off debts or put down for a house. And it's very simple, right? Then from there, you either put that money to pay off the debt, so it frees up your debt to income ratio. You put that in your checking or savings account, and so you have that available, right? Then from there, hey, apply for a loan. Let's see what let's run your credit. Let's see what your middle credit score is. Let's see what your debts are. Then let's see what your gross income is. Then let's see how we can get you moving in a San Diego home, condo, or townhome. If any of that sounds like you, or if you want to run any scenarios by me, adult to adult, somebody that sees hundreds and hundreds of loan applications, shoot me a call, email, or text, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.